Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Hey, my nosy people. Wagwan. I hope everyone is blessed. So I wanted to have a quick chat about this Kanye West and Kim Kardashian divorce mess that's getting even more messier. And I particularly wanted to kind of pick up the angle around Kim K and her kind of leverage that she has with the media and the way that they have the ability to paint Kanye in a particular light, which, you know, I think is good that Kanye is aware of that and is using other outlets to get his message across, like Jason Lee, for example, with his interview that he did for Hollywood Unlocked. But before getting into all that, so really looking at what's happening, we know that Kim and Kanye are going through a divorce, right? And Kanye has been in the media quite a lot lately because of, you know, the fact that he brought to light the issues around going to his daughter's birthday party, his daughter Chicago. That was last month, where he wanted to attend his daughter's birthday party, which is perfectly fine, but wasn't invited and had to take to social media to get the point across. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why is Kanye using social media to like deal with his issues?" I think that one of the things that we need to be thinking about is the fact that Kim Kardashian has a massive media machine behind her, right? It seems to me they've got a very good in with TMZ because they're able to feed TMZ stories and they'll kind of run with it. And as Kanye has pointed out before, he feels like they kind of paint him in a negative light, whereas they're a bit more favourable to Kim Kardashian. Now, you guys can have a look at the coverage and kind of decide upon that yourself. But I can see where I feel like the Kardashians have the ability to use the media to manipulate how things do look when it comes to Kanye West. So, for example, even the story about, you know, him buying a property across the road from him, his children, you know, that was spun into kind of like a stalking situation. To me, it's like these are big Hollywood stars, right? Look where they live. It's not like regular roads, like, you know, in London here. If you're certain places, you can look out your window and look into somebody else's house. It isn't that kind of situation. So I feel like him buying a property near his kids, to be near his kids, to me is not a bad thing. It's just him trying to be a good dad. Whilst he may still love Kim K, and he has said that before, clearly she's moving on, and, you know, that it is what it is. He's got somebody else right now, right? But I feel like this whole divorce is getting really messy, and the way that it's being dealt with in the media is not necessarily helpful. But to me, it seems to me that Kanye feels like he's got no other way of handling it but to handle it in the media light. And I say that looking at it like this. So Kim K and her family have an in with lots of media outlets. They've been, you know, the media darlings for years, so they can spin a story how they want to. I think her putting out a statement at the moment about, you know, saying that she feels like he's attacking her was an interesting move, personally. So found it interesting that she thought that she's been attacked, because in all the interviews that I've heard so far of Kanye, like, you know, I heard him on the Drink Champs with Noriega and DJ EFN. Then I watched him sit down with Jason Lee. That was really cool. Like, he's not been negative about Kim in any of those interviews. On Drink Champs, he kept referring to her as his wife. In Hollywood Unlocked, he spoke about her being, you know, beautiful and how so many women look up to her. So to me, that's not necessarily the case. I feel like what she's more scared of is that he will just tell the truth. So a prime example being this whole birthday debacle where, you know, was he invited, was he not invited? Clearly to me, he wasn't invited, because otherwise he wouldn't have done what he done. And then we understand now from Jason Lee that Jason actually advised him to do that, because Jason actually popped into a Clubhouse room to defend Kanye recently, where he talks about how he advised Kanye how to kind of navigate and control the narrative around this whole situation around the birthday and the invite. Because he says that he told him, you know, that they would do this. They would say that, you know, how can he not be invited to his own child's party? In fact, just listen to this segment from Jason.
I do want to add another point, because Ayan, you keep saying things that I want to challenge your fact. You say he's still seeing the kids. What do you know that I don't know?
Did he not go to the birthday party? Do they not have joint custody?
Under duress. Okay, so he called me and said they wouldn't tell him where the birthday party was. I said, okay, well, what you want to do? He says, I want to be with my child on my child's birthday. I said, okay, so send me a video saying that you don't know where the address is. You want to see your kid. So he did, and I posted it and it went everywhere. And then he got a phone call from Travis Scott that said, oh, the address is over here at my house, me and Kylie's house. He called me back and says, okay. Travis called me and told me it's at Travis' house. I said, okay, cool. Go party and say you're crazy and already knew the address. So he said, no, they're not gonna do that because they know it. I said they're gonna put out a story that when you get there, they're gonna get a video of you at the party. It's gonna get out before it. And what happened? There was a video of him talking to Chris, went viral. Kanye already knew he crazy. Now what happened was, on the black side, black folks were saying, yeah, he got in, he with his kid. Other folks were saying, look, he crazy, he already knew where it was, right? So when he came out, I sent him the story. No, while he was there, I sent him the story. I said, they already said you crazy. They already said you already knew. I said, give me some pictures of you and your kid. He sent me pictures of him with his kid. I put the pictures up. I sent some to Angie at the Shade Room. They went viral. Him smiling, having a great time with his kid. Everybody was like, yeah, he with his kid, he's with a kid. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fight to see your kid. Then when he got out, I said, it ain't done yet. You got to send me a video explaining how you got in the party, just because they need to hear that you weren't invited by them. You were invited by a black man who the world is trying to kill right now as well, taking everything from him. And that black man made sure you was with your kid today, another black man. That's what you need to say. Thank you. Shout out to Travis for that. And he did. And I posted that. And you know what? That pissed off the Kardashians? Because he had somebody that actually cared about him, walking him through how to defend himself and win an argument that he shouldn't be arguing about. And so for me, I said, let me go ahead and help you control your narrative, because all you want to be is a dad who wants to be with their kid, and he did. And you know how good he felt that he was able to be with his kid on some real personal shit. And I'm talking probably too much, but I just wanted other people to see another perspective, right?
So you've heard that, and you've heard where Jason explains that, and I think that is quite telling, because obviously him advising him in how to navigate that really actually helped, because yes, you can see that potentially it would have been spun in a way of, oh, it's just Kanye being crazy. Of course, he got invited to his child's party. Later on you find out actually he didn't. Then you're hearing about security getting in the way, and Kim saying one thing, oh no, he was invited, but then Kanye's telling you something else. And I feel like Kanye has always been like a heart in his sleeve kind of person, and will just kind of tell you what it is and be quite brutally honest. He's always been outspoken, but now that you're in a divorce, you don't necessarily want that person to be as outspoken or talk your business. But this is Kanye, this is the kind of, this is who you chose to be with, right? So I feel like there's a few layers that are going on here anyway. So we know that he's an outspoken artist, and I feel like the Kardashian clan will want to try and silence him, and they can do that by using his mental health issues. And we know that that can happen in the way that things are written or things that are said, talking about him being on the edge, and, he's likely to kind of, go off. And, they use certain language within the media to make you see Kanye in a certain way. I'm not saying he's perfect. I feel like his behaviour hasn't helped himself over the years. But in this situation, I can see where they could potentially use the media, which is why I feel like Kanye feels he has to go to the black media outlets to make sure he does get his voice out there. I think Jason giving him that advice was the right advice. He had to go to social media, is what it seems like. He feels like he's backed into a corner. Even though they're parents, I feel like they should be able to have this situation offline. But clearly, if he feels like he's being blocked from his own daughter's birthday, there's an issue, right? Now, moving on with what's happening currently with the whole TikTok situation and their daughter, North. Now, he has said that he does not want North to be on TikTok. Now, he is the dad, and I feel like that is a fair enough request. And Kim is obviously not listening to that and gone against his wishes, and then put her on TikTok via a joint account. He's not happy about this. And I think as a parent, he has a right to say that. Now, she's come out because he's put up a post on Instagram where he's taken a screen grab of North on TikTok, and he's put the following caption: "Since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will." Now, you can tell that there's a bit of shade there, because obviously, Kim's been married a few times, so I think this is her third divorce. Well, obviously, Kanye, this is his first divorce, so that made me laugh, a little shade there. But anyway, so he is having to take, to me, this shows that you must be kind of in a desperate position to want to go to social media to out this situation. Also, I feel like he's also using this to help build up his own evidence in the public eye, because clearly, otherwise his voice would be silenced, wouldn't it? Because they could just run the whole TMZ train and feed information. Because we know what Kanye's relationship has been like with the media in the past. Like he will cooperate, but he doesn't want everyone in his business all the time. So whereas we know Kardashians are always the media darlings, always feeding them stories. So in response to that, Kim has now put out a statement. So basically, Kim's put out a statement stating that she feels like, he's attacking her in interviews, and that she feels like that's more hurtful than any TikTok that North might create. She goes on to say, as the parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children, she's doing her best to protect her, their daughter, while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with adult supervision, because it brings her happiness. Divorce is difficult enough for our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. From the beginning, I have wanted nothing but a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship, because it is what is best for our children, and it saddens me that Kanye continues to make it impossible every step of the way. I wish to handle all matters regarding our children privately, and hopefully he can finally respond to the third attorney he has had in the last year to solve any issues amicably. So, Kanye not being happy with the statement that Kim K has put out, he responded by taking a screenshot of it and basically said, what do you mean by main provider? ? America saw you try to kidnap my daughter on her birthday by not providing the address. You put security on me inside of the house to play with my son and then accused me of stealing. I had to take a drug test after Chicago's party because you accused me of being on drugs. Tracey Romulus, stop manipulating Kim to be this way. Now, Tracey Romulus apparently is someone who works in Kim K's team.
Okay, so let me tell you the Tracey Romulus connection, so I can break that down. So Tracey Romulus is she's the CEO or COO of Kim Kardashian Inc. So Kim Kardashian. Well, there you go. CFO, CEO. But I don't know that she's the CFO, because that's the chief financial officer. She's running that motherfucker. She's literally the COO or CEO. I have to look at her email. I haven't emailed her in a while. But anyway, I just looked it up today. I don't know what it says online. I'm telling you, I deal with the woman. I deal with the woman. I talk to the woman. I know the woman. I'm telling you how she runs the business for Kim Kardashian. But more importantly, she's the person that handles the media whenever there's a problem. Plus, their whole lives are monitored and managed based on social media stats. So they have a social media company that manages all the chatter online, and that's how they decide how to move. So if they see something going one way, they read all the chatter online, they get a report, they then tweak it and start figuring out how to post it. That's why you see them all posting at the same time, how they all posting different things, supporting this, like they know social media, right? Now, Tracey sits at the top of all that. So Tracey manages all the crisis, Tracey manages all the narratives for the brands, Tracey does all the work for Chris when it comes to like what the family's position is on things. So when you see the source, it's typically Tracey. She's managing Kim as a business, but part of managing Kim as a business is managing the public fallout of a private relationship. Kanye's thing is stay the fuck out my family's business. Does that make sense? So when Carmelo Anthony had the babies on Lala, right behind her back, and that became a thing, Tracey Romulus was the one that hired the private investigators in London to try to track the lady down, and I broke that story, and then Lala called me, and she pulled them all out of our business because she felt like they were meddling. Tracey Romulus is always involved. When Jordan Woods and Tristan Thompson went down, it was Tracey Romulus calling me every 5 minutes with a new story to put out on Jordan. She is a pit bull for the Kardashians, and now she's just getting called out. That's all it is.
You don't think that is dangerous what he's doing, putting her in it?
Nope. I think he playing fire with fire. I do think some things shouldn't be for social media, but like sometimes when you gotta remember, like when you in a fight with your opponent, you gotta hit him where it hurts. The Kardashians don't care about nothing in person. They hate that social media. You know what I mean? They hate the narrative that they steal from black culture. They hate the narrative that they're stealing black men. They hate the narrative that they're whatever it is about. They hate that. They hate hearing that. And they hate that interview that he did with me, because for the first time he was allowed to say what the fuck he had to say with somebody who didn't give a fuck and would help push it out.
It's interesting. I think this can go all different types of ways. I hope that they do end up taking all this stuff off social media, because I don't feel like it needs to be on social media. I also surprisingly agreed with Candace Owens, who put out a tweet which was Kim is wrong on this one. The psychological effects on of social media on young girls is real and documented. It's actually Kanye that is trying to protect his daughter in this regard, and Kim is spinning this as obsession and control. There are other creative outlets for kids. Under that, she's got another tweet where she put, there is no 8-year-old in the world that needs social media, go colour. So Kanye has now thanked Candace Owens for basically supporting him in this whole social media divorce battle it seems to be turning into at this point. But yeah, basically this is what he said on that. Thank you, Candace, for being the only noteworthy person to speak on this issue. There's a lot of celebs scared to say something in public, but they'll text me in private and say they're on my side. I will no longer put my hand through a blender to hug my children. My mother took me to Chicago when I was 3 and told my dad if he came to Chicago, he would never see me again. So I bought the house next door. I dream of a world where dads can still be heroes. So since me recording this, I had to come back and add this on because Kanye has posted some more onto his Instagram about what's happening with him. So he's posted a message between him and Kim's cousin, apparently. And I'll put this up on the screen where he talks about, it's an example of Kim's cousin who apparently was agreeing with him about the TikTok, but then proceeded to ask Kim for some Yeezys afterwards. So yeah, he goes into about that. So you can have a look on his Instagram, but also above there, you'll see where I've screenshotted it. There's another post that he's put up, which is him basically saying that yesterday Kim apparently accused him of putting a hit out on her. And he then goes on to say, so let me get this straight. I beg to go to my daughter's party and I'm accused of being on drugs. Then I go play with my son and I'm accused of stealing. Now I'm being accused of putting a hit on her. These ideas can actually get someone locked up. They play like that with black men's lives, whether it's getting them free or getting them locked up. I'm not playing about my black children anymore. So he's put up this post where it says basically he's asking someone for Kim's number, so implying he can't get in touch with Kim. And now he's then put up another post just most recently thanking, giving a thank you to Larry Jackson for giving him Kim's number, and he's tagged her in that as well. So I've seen on TMZ they already got a story up about it, of course. About the fact that Kanye is now doing this, and I think the headline was Kanye West, Kim thinks I want her whacked. Post cousins text this too. Yeah, they then say in the article, you know, for the record, that there's no indication that Kim has accused Kanye of putting a hit out on her. Not that we can see anyway. And then they go on to say that, you know, Kanye carries on throwing wild accusations. So what do you guys think about this whole situation? It seems to be turning into sort of social media divorce wars at this point, because then Kim's also been trending due to a old clip of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where she's sharing with Khloe how, you know, her and Kanye got into a little disagreement where he was annoying her about getting some Band-Aids. So again, you know, there's lots of stuff in Keeping Up with the Kardashians potentially that they could maybe use and manipulate and show his other side of his character where he can be a bit pedantic. And, you know, in that situation that she was describing with the Band-Aid, I'm kind of with her. Like, you know, who's got time to run around looking for a Band-Aid? But, you know, obviously Chloe's point was, you know, it makes him happy, so why not just do something to make him happy? But I think it's all interesting. I think this is just the start of things to come. I'm hoping that it will actually, they'll be able to go behind the scenes and just take care of it and just put the kids first. But based on how it's going so far, we shall see. But what do you guys think? Are you kind of Team Kanye, Team Kim, or just Team don't care? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.